Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and show I watched last week, and we had a pretty busy week. I watched one season of The Walking Dead and 13 movies, so let's get into it. Starting it off with the one and only season of TV, which is season 9 of The Walking Dead. So I've only got 2 seasons left of the main show, and then we'll be moving on to spin-offs after that. But season 9, I enjoyed. I think it is an upgrade to season 8. Not a big upgrade, but I think it's an upgrade. I really miss Rick. I think that's a big reason as to why I don't love this as much as some of the other seasons, where a lot of people say like this is the season that it's back, it's better than like the past couple seasons, which I don't really agree with, to be honest. And um yeah, I felt very disappointed with the way that Enid and Tara died as well. Off-screen deaths are fucking stupid, man. I hate off-screen deaths. And there's no Maggie in this season as well. Like it's hard to stay invested into the season, I find, because a lot of my favorite characters are not in it now. Specifically Rick and Maggie, I should say. Um but yeah, anyways, I'm intrigued to see where season 10 goes. I'm about a third of the way through season 10. Sadiq just died. That was the last thing I watched. So that was sad. And yeah, let's move on to the movies of the week, starting it off with my least favorite, which was The Bling Ring, which I ranked a 53 out of 100. This is based on a true story. If you didn't know about this, I think in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s, maybe even, there was a group of thieves in Los Angeles. They were called the Bling Ring. And to be honest, many parts of this movie didn't even feel like it was actually a movie. It kind of felt more like a mockumentary. Um, I don't know. I didn't really care for it a whole lot. I thought it was okay. Um, I ranked it a 53 out of 100. It's my least favorite Sofia Coppola film so far. Let's move on to Crime 101, a movie that is just totally fine. I know my mom liked it. Um, I didn't personally love it. Again, I thought it was just fine. It's a long 2.5 hours because I'm not invested really in any of the characters, and there's very few action scenes. And what this was marketed as was a action crime thriller, and there's really not that much of that. I don't even know if there was a single thrilling moment in the film for me. Maybe the ending sequence, but apart from that, not a whole lot. There wasn't a lot to love in this film, but I don't think anything in this is bad by any means. I just think it's okay, and I ranked it a 58 out of 100. And it's my second least favorite watch of the year now. Wuthering Heights is still my least favorite, but yeah. Let's move on to another 2026 release, perhaps the biggest of the year so far, which is Scream 7, which I ranked a 66 out of 100. This thing was almost doomed to fail because of all the politics surrounding it way back when, and I think 2023 and 2024. And yeah, I mean, this is not a great movie. I actually think a large portion of this movie is solid, though. It still probably would have been my least favorite. But like, I would say most of the first half of this movie I really enjoyed. There's a lot of creative kills that I enjoyed as well, but then our characters just got increasingly more dumb throughout, and a lot of this movie was really full of stupid character decisions, like worse than most of the Scream movies I find. And the like political commentary in this with AI and true crime, I don't think is great either. The AI stuff I really didn't enjoy. The AI to bring back legacy characters is like, it seems like something that Scream would do. I just don't think it was executed well. And yeah, overall, I just think it's not a great movie. There is a I talk about it a little bit more on my Instagram if you want to check it out. But nonetheless, I rank it a 66 out of 100 because I definitely did enjoy some of this, but I hated the reveal. Well, let's move on to The Revenant, which I ranked a 72 out of 100. I get to see an IMAX today. I get to see it in IMAX today for the 10th anniversary. First time ever watching The Revenant. And I fully thought this movie was about Leonardo DiCaprio and a bear. And I was so wrong. In the first like 15 minutes of this movie, he fights a bear, he gets attacked by a bear. That's the last we ever see of a bear. The rest of this movie is basically a revenge plot against Tom Hardy, which it's definitely good. I just think it's a little overly long. Um, yeah, I think it's still a good movie though. I had a good time with it, and it's my first Inarritu film as well. So 72 out of 100. Let's move on to Spy, which is something Mel really wanted to show me. It's been something that we've talked about a little bit recently. And an easier way for us to find, or not to find movies, but to watch movies is we have a whole bunch of movies we want to watch and a random wheel generator. We spin the wheel, whatever it lands on, that's what we watch. This week it was Spy, and Mel was hyped because it was literally the newest thing that we added. So, yeah, anyways, this is the first time I've ever watched it. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to. The comedy was great. It was really funny. Jason Statham, as always, puts a smile on my face and makes me laugh. And yeah, I mean, the plot was kind of engaging too, to be honest. I enjoyed this. It's a really fun cast, full with wildly outlandish characters that are funny, and there's some fun action as well. So 73 out of 100. Let's move on to The Babadook, which is another first watch of mine, which I ranked a 76 out of 100. It's definitely a very interesting style of horror, more so on the like eerie, creepy mystery side of things rather than jump scares, which I really enjoy. Sometimes jump scares are just overused and not good. So it's good to see a different type of thrilling eeriness in a horror film, and that's exactly what The Babadook did for me. I thought that was quite good in it, and yeah, it's a pretty well made story as well about a mother dealing with grief. So yeah, mostly positives coming from this. And after Jenna Ortega talks about this in the Scream movies, I wanted to watch it. So 76 out of 100. Let's move on to Scream 3, which is was my least favorite and still is after rewatching all the franchise apart from Scream 7, which I ranked this to 76 out of 100. It did go down a little bit, but it's still a movie I enjoy. Um, yeah, 76 out of 100. I enjoy it. Moving on to Good Fortune, which is a movie I didn't get to watch last year that I did want to watch. And I'm glad I was able to give it a watch because I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to. And truthfully, I didn't think this was going to be about the struggling economy and the struggle to find a job, the benefits at a job, the pay at a job. And that's all stuff that uh, I personally deal with on a day to day basis. I'm broke. I'm universally broke. It's terrible. I have a decent paying job, but it's not the best, and I'm awful at money management. And the fear of if I lose my job or if I don't have a job, will I be able to find another one? Which is why I work two jobs. So, yeah, all of that was very relatable in this film. It's also really funny, and I had a good time with this. I'd really recommend this. I ranked it an 80 out of 100. Let's move on to Scream 2, which I ranked a 81 out of 100. I enjoyed this one as well, but it also went down a couple of overall points, I think from an 83 down to an 81. So didn't change a whole lot. But yeah, I still enjoy this. It's still this franchise I love. I'm probably biased on, even though this is only my second time watching the franchise. The only movie that I had rewatched prior to last week, or prior to this week, I should say, was the first Scream. So it's still my favorite horror franchise, though, and I love each movie except for probably seven. But anyways, Scream 2 and 81 out of 100. Let's move on to The Greatest Showman, which Mel and I watched with my mom, and it was the first time my mom had ever seen it, or we think. She thinks she might have seen it, but she wasn't really sure. So, nonetheless, it's good. My rating has changed every time I've watched it. I lowered it from an 85 down to an 83, mostly because the next movie that you'll see on this list, I do enjoy more, and I had it lower. So, That did change this rating for The Greatest Showman. Sorry, Mel. I know it's a perfect 100 out of 100 for Mel, and this upcoming week will be a lot of Mel movies. So we kind of started it off with The Greatest Showman. It is Mel's birthday this week. She will be 23 this week. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Scream 4, which I ranked an 84 out of 100, which was Wes Craven's last film, which is sad. And rest in peace to Wes Craven. I'm going to watch The Nightmare on Elm Streets this week because it just feels like a right time to do it. Because I've never watched them. I've only watched the first one, so I'm excited to give that another go. And yeah, anyways, Scream 4, it's I think the most underrated film in this franchise, to be honest, although both of the new 5 and 6 ones as well I think are really underrated, which we'll talk about in a moment. But 4 is great, and I love the cast as well that we have in this. Yeah, 84 out of 100. Let's move on to Scream 5, which was my second least favorite on original run through. So this has changed a lot. It went up to an 88, which actually brings up to my third favorite. So really enjoyed that. Ranked it an 88 out of 100. Enjoyed this way more than I remembered enjoying it the first time. I was really interested in this one. This was probably the one I was almost most interested into or in while watching on rewatch, I guess. Sorry, that doesn't make any sense, but this was the one I was most interested in on rewatch. And yeah, I had a great time with this. I like this way more than I remembered, and this was a lot of fun. And I said it last week with Abigail, but Tyler Gillett and Matt Bettinelli-Olpin are two directors I really love working today. I liked Abigail. I love Scream 5 and Scream 6. I love Ready or Not. I'm excited to watch Ready or Not 2. One of my goals for the year is also to watch the VHS films, which I'm excited for that as well. So they're really great horror directors that I've been enjoying. Um, and yeah, let's talk about my favorite of their films, which is Scream 6, which I ranked a 90 out of 100, which is also my favorite watch of the week. And yeah, I had a great time with this as always. This is only, again, the second time I watched this, and I missed in Scream 7. I truly, truly missed Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. So that really sucks. But yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see them in back of the franchise some other time. But obviously, right now, probably not going to happen. So, my favorite watch of the week is a great watch, 90 out of 100 for Scream 6, and it is my second favorite of the franchise. So, with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully, you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Happy March.